everyone, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking to Bob and Pete Hagstrom about some of the different economic seasons that Hagstrom Builder has gone through over the last 50 plus years, as well as share some wisdom and hopefully give some hope for the next months to come.
Sweet. So with all the different, like being in business for as long as Hagstrom Builder has been around, you've most likely seen a lot of different economic seasons. So what are a few other times that the economy has maybe been seen as unstable, and what was that like?
I'll tell you from two instances. 1972 and 3, I was getting into the planning of the South Hill professional building with a group of dentists and optometrists and so on, and talking to First National Bank. And I went down there before we started, and at First National Bank, I talked to Quentin Heimerman, who was the president, and he said, Bob, if you go ahead with this, we got good security with several dentists would sign on the mortgage. He said, I think I can give it to you for 9%. I said, well, that's a little high at that time, but let's go with it. I went and proceeded to build the building. In the meantime, interest rates were climbing through that period. And by the time we got the building ready for a full mortgage and so on, it had gone up to 12 or 13 or 14% and was still climbing. He said, I told you what I'd give it to you for, and I'm going to stick to my word. And we went ahead with that building. Made all of us participants very happy. Well, that high rate had shut down the housing industry. Mm-hmm. There was practically no house building. Mortgage rates were out of sight. Prices were good for materials and all that. They were, if anything, lower than ever because there was nothing being done. I started planning with a doctor by the name of Bob Meisterling, planning a house, and we, over the period of time, got ready to build, and interest rates were something like 16%. Wow. And we talked it over, and I said, Bob, if you go ahead and build, you're going to pay some high interest, but you can always roll that mortgage over or renew it. I said, the beauty of it is the prices are so low, you're going to get a good buy on all the materials in that house. And he said, let's go. So we started that house, and those are the two items that jump out to me in a very stressful time when housing was just practically shut down, and I had a crew that I was trying to keep going, and we went from one thing to another, but that's examples of it.
What year was that done?
73, 74, 1973, 4, and 5 started to soften, and the market opened up again through the 70s.
Yeah, wow. That's incredible. What about you, Pete? Have you seen times like that?
Well, certainly we've seen things where it's really been a difficult time about knowing, how to adapt to what the current situations are. And, through 9/11 was a time where it was just a real question as to, what kind of an impact will this have on the economy, and people begin to get trepidatious about moving forward. Mm-hmm. And as we went into the real estate crisis in 08, 09, the same kind of thing where the bottom fell out. Their values of homes and the values of mortgages were just so underwater that, again, people just backed away completely from new construction, remodeling, anything. And, now we're into this time where we're dealing with the COVID. But I think all these things pass. And I think that's where, we look for, hope for tomorrow. And there's always hope for tomorrow, that we just, we work our hardest and are honest with people. And, you try to bring the positive things out of these situations that are really out of our control.
Yeah.
Peter, during those times when things got real tight and I tried to keep a crew going, I used to have my carpenters shingling, my carpenters hanging drywall, anything to keep them employed.
I can remember insulating and hanging drywall when I was younger during those times.
You were there as a kid.
Yep, absolutely. And I did a lot of the roofing.
So what would, I mean, this question is for both of you as well, but what would you say to industry partners that haven't been around as long and that maybe this is their first kind of what could be viewed as, you know, some people are saying it's an economic crisis, but what would you say to those people who are having anxieties and feeling uncertain about the next months and years to come?
My opinion would be, I feel like I was called to be in this business, and it would take a little more than a shakeup of high interest to have me quit. And I wrote it out, and things only got better. And the building industry, along with the economy of our country, is cyclical. It's up and it's down. It's never steady, straight, and rising. It doesn't stay that way. So build on experience.
Yeah, and I think to look at the Weeblos wobble, but they don't fall down. You just have to persevere. And you know, these are kind of like punches in a battle or a war. You know, where it's just like we just need to have that the perseverance. And I think, you know, watching my dad growing up with him, he was always planning for something. You know, you can't just extend yourself so far that these kind of things just take you out. You know, I think that's where it's got to be a proper approach to the day-to-day business when things are good, so that when things change, there's a prepared feeling.
Yeah.
Yep, Peter, that's true. And I never pushed a lot of debt ahead of me. And that's what sinks people with adversity is indebtedness.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more videos in the weeks to come.